Kartakini,
Present.
Supervisor Keating,
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Present.
Councilwoman Martin,
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacek, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, no other preliminary matters. We'll move on to item number 2, which is regular business. With the correction and adoption of the minutes from the October 21st, 2020 town board meeting. Councilman Kartakini, you might take the motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. I had the opportunity to review the minutes dated October 21st, 2020. I see no errors or omissions, and I make a motion that we accept them as written.
Second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Kartakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 2 tonight under regular business, we have the consideration of all fund bills. Councilwoman Lukacek.
How about Councilwoman
I'm sorry, you know what I did? My apologies. Councilwoman Martin, apologies.
Thank you, Supervisor. I had an opportunity to go over the fund bills and for the payables that are due this month with a total of $72,935.47. I make a motion to pay on these invoices.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Kartakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, moving on to item number 3 tonight under correspondence. We have 3 items of correspondence this evening. We have a letter from the Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper that's been received and filed. Item number 2 is a letter from the County Executive Mark Polenkars regarding the police enforcement of mental hygiene law, sections 9.45 and 9.60. That's been received and filed. And also number 3 is a letter from Charter Communications with changes to their pricing adjustment. There's for Spectrum TV Silver and Spectrum TV Gold. The price adjustment is going to increase by $5. That's been received and filed. Moving on to item number 4, new business. We have a request from the floor, so I will open up the floor to any resident who would like to make a comment. Please come up to the microphone, state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Brian Burns, 6556 Chestnut Lane. I'd like to put it on record that I have asked Mr. Telak 4 times respectfully to move the stop sign, which is partially restricting my access to hillside property. The sign has still not been moved. It's been at least a year. And so I'm asking Mr. Telak to move the sign formally and put it on a record that I have asked him. The sign is not only blocking, restricting my access, excuse me, but it's also the wrong sign, as the court, when they made a ruling, suggested that a stop sign is not appropriate in that area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jay Jackson, 7964 Back Creek Road. Recent events have made me feel obliged to provide you all with something of a status update. I'll open with a little background. By monitoring internet traffic statistics to bostonny.com, I've learned that a lot of people come to my site for schedule details for the town's 4th of July fireworks. I get no direct feedback concerning the site or its contents from anybody, so these statistics are my only feedback. Anyway, for the last 3 summers, on July 3rd and 4th, my calendar page gets 10 to 15 times the usual number of daily visitors, which is about 19 or 20. Naturally, this year's details were disappointing, but those details were available nonetheless, and I'm glad folks think of my site to get them. So, one of the events I spoke of came in the form of a message last Monday about a mistake I published about leaf pickup by our town highway department. After checking with one of the highway workers, I had posted that leaf pickup ended on October 31st. Sometime in the last few days, a resident contacted Superintendent Telak asking why he stopped picking up leaves on the 31st. Apparently, the resident found my error, and I apologize to you, Superintendent Telak.
Apology accepted.
I did correct the mistake a few minutes after learning of it. Regardless, it demonstrates how far the site reaches now, after 4.5 years. Another event was that I saw an increase in visitors looking for this year's Halloween details. As you may have noticed on social media, or more specifically on Dave Blank's Boston NY page, Facebook page, lots of people were asking about what was happening for Halloween this year. A number of them came to my site looking for those details. It was far less than on the 4th, just twice the usual daily number. Fortunately, I had already linked to the town's website page with these CDC guidelines. I followed the supervisor's lead. Plus, I wasn't comfortable posting anything else because I hadn't contacted any of the folks that shared that they were ready for trick-or-treaters. So I had really no accurate details. Regardless, I attributed that spike in traffic to the growing popularity of the site. Usually, when I see a spike like that, I had posted something with a link to my site on Dave's page. That wasn't the case here. I also found it interesting that 2 days later, the day before the election, there was another similar small spike. Now, after all this, yeah, so, says you. Well, I maintain the site for public benefit. Like you, I have our fellow Boston residents' interests in mind. There's no money involved, something that a few Boston business owners have found nearly impossible to believe when I ask for their permission to list them on the business page. My goal is to provide accurate and impartial information. To some measure, I've been successful. Councilwoman Lukacek shared her liking of the election 2019 page I set up, listing all the local candidates, regardless of political party. I created that page only when I had the details of all the candidates. As the site grows in popularity, I will continue to remain as unbiased and informative as possible. And as recent events have shown, there will sometimes be overlap between the town's site and mine. I'm still quite pleased to note that BostonNY.com is the only place on the internet to see the last 5 years of town board minutes. And thanks to Shane, it's the only place where on the internet to see it's the only place to link to videos of these meetings. As I am not bound by the rules a government site must follow, I have a little more latitude in the content I can provide. Regardless, I welcome your input and feedback regarding the contents of the site. And if things change, I will try to keep you informed. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I presume no other comments, so I will close the floor. All right, moving along under new business, item number 4, we have a use of facility form for Betty Kaiser from the Boston Croppers. Councilwoman Lukacek, do you mind taking that item tonight?
Not a problem, Mr. Supervisor. Ms. Kaiser, Boston Croppers, has requested the town hall community room with the kitchen and bathroom facilities for scrapbooking on the date. There's a list of dates. They are available, correct?
Yes, that is correct. The dates are
And
available.
the number of attendees is 10 to 15. That room should be able to handle all those folks if we are still in COVID mode throughout the entire next year. I do ask if we have not received a check for this. The request was made to use the check from this last time and place it into this for this time, correct?
Yes,
The use of the facility?
Yes, there was, due to COVID, she had requested the fee that was paid in, for 2020 for this use of facility be used for the 2021.
That has been our past practice to approve that, but we do need some documentation from her stating that request.
If the board wants to approve it in the way that the use of facility payment that was made from 2020 can be used for 2021 due to COVID, that would be up to the board if they'd like to do that. Just so I have the documentation in the minutes.
Okay.
Yep, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve this utilizing the fee from 2020, moving it over to 2021 for the Boston Croppers.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Karatini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Item number 3 under new business, we have Mitch Tucker, request for appointment as the chairman for our town's Conservation Advisory Council. Councilwoman Martin.
Thank you, Supervisor. We received a letter from Dr. Mitch Tucker requesting that he be appointed to the position of chairman for the Conservation Advisory Council. I have met Dr. Tucker, and he is an awesome individual. He cares for our community and has a lot of great knowledge, and I think he'd be excellent for this position. I make a motion to accept him as chairman.
I second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Karatini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 4 under new business is we need to schedule a public hearing for a 2020 local law intro number 2 entitled A Local Law Amending Chapter 47 Unsafe Buildings. Councilman Karatini, you mind taking that item tonight?
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. At this time, I'd like to make a notice of public hearing. A public hearing shall be held by the Town of Boston the Town Board of the Town of Boston on November 18th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. at Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, Boston, New York, to hear any and all persons either for or against 2020 local law intro number 2 entitled A Local Law Amending Chapter 47 Unsafe Buildings. This local law amends the town code's unsafe building law to address procedures when a town code enforcement officer is not available to provide for a special proceeding to cover costs of securing, repairing, or demolishing and removing unsafe buildings and structures from the property owner, and to add a procedure for emergency demolition of unsafe buildings or structures. Copies of the proposed law, sponsored by Supervisor Keating and myself, are on file in the town clerk's office and are available on the Town of Boston website, www.townofboston.com, or by contacting the town clerk's office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Dated November 4th, 2020, published November 6th, 2020, by order of the town board, Sandra L. Quinlan, town clerk.
Did you make a motion to schedule the public hearing? I'm sorry.
I make a motion to schedule this hearing, and I'd also like to thank Sean and the first responders and Jason as well, with input from the county to move this forward.
I will second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Karatini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. No items under old business tonight, so we'll move right along to reports and presentations. Highway Superintendent.
Well, thank you. First, I'd like to say that all the highway department's snowplow trucks are ready to go. Our first snow plowing was 2 days ago, Monday morning, and the guys did a really good job. Some of the county roads were very slippery, but other than that, the town roads are good. Other than that, leaf pickup is still going on. We'll be out picking up leaves all month until winter gets here, so if you got leaves in your yard, get them out, and we'll be around to pick them up. That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Councilwoman Selby.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate the importance now with this little uptick in COVID to please be vigilant about keeping your social distance and wearing your mask. There's a couple of new cases at the school in Hamburg. I've seen some local schools that are closing down temporarily, and it's kind of an uncomfortable feeling. It's getting close to home. My brother had COVID as well as my nephews were in quarantine. So luckily I've been away from them, but I just want to remind everybody, please stay safe. In addition to that, I want to thank Jay Jackson for his services on the website. Does a great service to the citizens. It's always good to have more information rather than less, and I appreciate your work. And that is all I have.
Yeah, thank you very much. Councilman Carter Keating.
Thank you Supervisor Keating. I'd also like to thank Jay for the website and also Shane for providing the video of all the meetings. It's a great resource for the community, and I'm glad to see that people use it. The Boston Colton Chamber of Commerce is still looking for nominations for the Business of the Year, the Citizen of the Year, and the Nonprofit of the Year. If anybody wants to nominate anybody for that, they can certainly submit them to me as the liaison to the Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to thank Dr. Mitch Tucker for stepping up to the plate to take over as chairman for the CAC, and I welcome his work. That's all I have tonight.
All right, thanks very much. Councilwoman Lukacek, go ahead.
Thank you. The planning board will be meeting on November 10th as scheduled. It is via conference call. The information is posted on the town website. If you have any, please attend, listen to what goes on. If you anticipate that you'll be needing to submit any drawings or plans, at least you then get an idea of what the process is. So please go on, listen up, and meet some of our town planning board members. And I welcome Dr. Tucker to the CAC as a chairman. So thank you, Jay, for your website.
The planning board link is on my site. It is currently not on the town site.
Oh, it is not? Okay, so I just learned that on the town website, the link for the teleconference is not on there for the planning board this coming 10th. If we can have that added, I would appreciate it. That way the folks can go, the residents can go on if they're not already scheduled. And that is all I have.
All right, Councilwoman Martin.
Thank you, Jay. Well, in my neighborhood, the North Boston Fire Department came around on Halloween, which was very exciting for the children because this is such an odd year. I noticed there was children that never really left their yards. They were out in their costumes just waiting for the firemen to come by and throw candy, so that was a nice little treat. I don't know if the other fire departments did it in other neighborhoods, but I'd like to thank the North Boston Fire Department. The children in our neighborhood were really excited to see them coming around, so that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much.
Boston Fire Company did go around. and
Did
do
as
that.
well?
Yeah.
Okay. That was nice.
Very nice. Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Thank you Supervisor Keating. The Code Enforcement Officer's Report for September 2020 has been received and filed in the clerk's office. First come, first served deer management permits are available for up to 2 additional DMPs for hunters. Application must be done in person, so if you are a hunter and are interested, give the clerk's office a call to let us know that you'd like to come in to take care of that. And the Boston Town Hall will be closed on Wednesday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. And that is all I have, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I just have a couple quick things, and I will certainly echo of starting off with what Councilwoman Selby had said. If you hadn't catch the news this evening, our COVID numbers here in Erie County are on the uptick. It's just, hopefully we can keep this at bay, but if not, I fully anticipate some kind of direction or orders from the governor's office or the county executive. So I certainly echo what Councilwoman Selby had said and what we've been kind of saying all along. Please wash your hands, social distancing, follow the guidance that's out there from the state, the CDC, the trusted sources. I also know people, there's another person that I just spoke with a couple weeks ago that actually helps out the town with some things. Sadly, they lost their father and now has a sister who is now on an intubator. So, this is definitely hitting, close to home for people. So this is serious. It's not something we take it lightly. And, in the interim, the town hall will continue to have the doors closed. Sadly, that is what it is, but that's how we can ensure the safety of the town employees and also the public coming in. Masks are, of course, required. That is part of the governor's orders, and temperature checks will continue to be taken. We do not collect that information I heard there's some concern that we're collecting that information, or you're not. We're just simply identifying if the individual does or does not have a temperature as they walk through the door. And if they do, they will be kindly asked to please come back at a different time and potentially to contact your primary care physician. So that's what I have at this point on COVID. There is a link on the town's website regarding COVID. It's specifically called COVID. It's a red link. Direct links to the CDC, New York State Department of Health, and the County Department of Health are all out there. Please use all of those trusted sources for information regarding the current global pandemic that we're in. On a positive note, the Household Hazardous Waste event was a success that we hosted here in Boston. This was county-wide, just so everybody knows. There's some comment on social media. That was just for Boston residents. It's actually for anyone across the county. But we did have, the event was sold out in less than 2 days. As we call it, so there's no cost. But over 200 participants showed up, and the quantities are as follows. That event collected 1,600 gallons of paint, 1,200 gallons of corrosives, oxidizers, and acids, 7,950 pounds of pesticides, 220 gallons of antifreeze. This next number is a big one. I can't believe it myself, but it's 12,335 gallons of flammable liquids, so gasoline, turpentine, things of that nature. The small green 1 pound propane tanks that people use for camping, we collected 125. 100 units of old, out-of-date fire extinguishers, and 100 pounds of batteries. All of that product was kept out of the solid waste stream, did not go to our landfills, did not end up in our ditches or our creek beds, et cetera. So, a big kudos to everybody that participated there, because that really says a lot, and hopefully we can have another event soon. Unfortunately, it'll be the spring, but that information will be posted to the town website. I do sit on the NEST board, so as soon as we have that date and set with the vendors, that will be going out on the town website. The only other topic that I had tonight is the topic came up with our meetings. Thanks to the CARES Act funding from the county, which was, again, federal funding that went to the county. The county made available to all municipalities funding to deal with COVID costs. We couldn't use it for personnel, but some of the upgrades that we're doing are contactless faucets and other bathroom fixtures. We will be having proper cameras installed in the courtroom, so we will be soon creating our own video stream or video feed for meetings, and that will all be available at some point on the website. So that is something we picked up with that funding, and hopefully we can still meet in person, but we'll see what the pandemic deals with, what kind of cards it deals to us. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows at this point, unfortunately. So hopefully we can continue to serve the town to the best of our ability, and as always, call my office if you have any questions. With that, I will close the meeting.
I second his note to close the meeting.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Kurtini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukascik,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried, meeting adjourned.